Hello, today we will be taking a look at the encapsulation in Python, what it is and how it's useful to us. Okay, so encapsulation is all about putting strictness on data to not get modified outside of a unit. Now, in order to do that, we need to take a look at what are the access modifiers and how we can implement them in our encapsulation. Okay, so there are two basic modifiers. There's the public and the private access modifier. So by default, each attribute and methods in the class are public. So they are accessible from anywhere in our program. Okay, so this here is the example from last time that we did the animal class. And as you can see, everything in here is accessible from anywhere in the program. So I can go ahead and create a new animal, and I can give it a name, just animal1, and then I can go ahead and print animal.name. Okay, excuse me, animal1.name, and what this should do is it's going to print animal1, which is the name of our animal. So now let's go ahead and change one little thing. So go over to the constructor, we can go over to the name, and we can just add 2 underscores at the beginning of our variable. And what this does is it makes it private, so we can't access it from outside of the class anymore. So if I run this code, you can see I get an error. Animal object has no attribute name because we can't have access to the name, so it just returns this error to us. Okay, so what we can do about that is we can create these getter and setter methods that we can just indirectly access our private variable. So as you can see, name is now private, but we have a set name and get name function here. So for example, I can go here and do print animal1 dot get name, and this will just print. Actually, we need to modify it. So here we are setting the name with 2 underscores at the beginning, and here we are returning that. So now it should work. Okay, so animal1, we get the name by accessing it indirectly through this get name method. And the reason we are doing this is because we need to prevent accidental modification of data in case we have too many classes and it's easy for something to get lost or changed by accident. So this is how we can protect our program from doing that. Now let's go ahead and completely encapsulate this class. So I'm just going to add to all of the attributes, and here we can add to the getters and setter methods the underscores here, just so they know what we're talking about. And there you have it. This is a perfectly encapsulated class with every instance level variable being private. Okay, and of course take note, all the class level variables cannot be private, because that doesn't make any sense. We want to be able to modify them from outside the class. Now let's take a look at overriding in Python. So what is overriding? So let's say we have a parent class and we have a child class, and inside of these classes there is a method for both of these. So let's say we have an animal and we have a cat, and they both have the method eat. So a problem here arises: which of these functions are going to be called? The method that is in the parent class or the method that's in the child class? Okay, so let's take a look at an example without this conflict arising. So let's say we have a class called parent class, and we define the constructor here. Let's just say this is our constructor, and let's define also a run, method that just prints that the parent class is running. Okay, now let's create another class called child class, and let's make it inherit from the parent class. Now let's create a constructor that just uses the super keyword child class self dot constructor. Okay, so now let's go ahead and create a new object of type parent class, and let's do p.run. Now let's create a child class that just does the same, c.run. Let's see what happens now. Oops. Okay, so parent class is running, parent class is running. So both of these statements print the same thing because this class inherits from this class. So the run function, the run method is inherited from our parent class. But now we can go ahead and inside of the child class, we can go ahead and define redefine run. So that just overrides the parent, and then we can print child class is running. So what happens now is we get parent class is running for the object of type parent class, and we get child class is running for the object of type child class. So if you want to override the parent method, just define a new method with the same name as the one you want to redefine. Okay, so a few theoretical questions. What is encapsulation? Why do we need it? And can we access a private method of the parent class from within the child class? So you should be able to answer those. Okay, and here are a few coding exercises you could do. So as for the encapsulation, create a class dog inherited from the animal class with some private attributes. Instantiate, that means create a new object dog, and try to access those private attributes and just see what happens. Create a public method that returns those private attributes. So this would probably be a getter method. Access those private attributes using the public methods. So that should be setter methods. And as for the overriding, you can just create some parent methods and override them in the child class, just like we did before. Okay, so try to practice to get a hand on this concept. That is pretty much it. You just need to practice in order to be comfortable using all of these mechanisms to your favor. And I will see you in the next lesson.